My name's Shannon Brandon. I'm an addict in long-term recovery, and what that means to me is I have not used any type of mind-altering substance since October 16th, 2016. I wanted something great for my life. That's what I knew. I just didn't know what that greatness was. But when I started doing drugs, it just erased from my mind. I felt like I didn't fit in with other people, so the people that I thought I wanted to fit in with that seemed to accept me did drugs, and so I started doing drugs. And it helped me not feel, I didn't feel accepted, and I had other feelings. My mom and I were going through a rough time, and so I wouldn't feel when I would use drugs. And eventually it started as meth, and then when I turned 21, I got turned on to opiates, and I fell in love. I remember the person giving me the pill because I was going to work. It's been the first time I had worked in a long time, and it was some physical labor, and I was sore and hurting and didn't want to go, and they said, hey, take this, and it'll make you feel better. So I took it and went to work, and I worked like a mad woman. I felt great, and I felt happy. I was just singing along and working, and that was it. That was all I needed. I think it had a hold on me right from the very beginning. I just didn't know it. It wasn't until I lost my children because I couldn't stay clean. I had gotten into a little bit of trouble, and I was on probation and having to take UAs, and I couldn't stay clean. It destroyed my life. It hurt my life with my family, with my parents and my siblings, because I isolated myself from them. I come from a very good, strong family, and so I was hiding from them. I was hiding my addiction. They knew there was something wrong, but they didn't know what it was. With jobs, I could get a job. I wouldn't hold a job down. I would steal from that job so that I could feed my addiction. I was using so I didn't have to feel that type of pain. When you're in active addiction, you feel internal pain, and then you feel the physical pain. And so I continued my use to cover up that physical pain. I thought I was going to die. I lost my kids, I think it was 2015, and I lost them because I couldn't stay clean, and my probation officer put me in jail, and she was afraid I was going to die, and she didn't want my children to see that. And so I went to rehab, thought I really wanted it, while in active addiction I wanted to be clean. I just didn't know anything else. December 2015, I had court for my children. I had a warrant out for my arrest. I had been to treatment twice in 60 days, and the judge told me, I'm going to give you one more chance. Otherwise, I'm adopting your children out. You have 90 days to get your life together. I was like, okay, I can do it, So I went to another treatment, got kicked out of there because I had negative behaviors. I wasn't trying to change my behaviors. I was trying to pretend I was clean. And then came to Oxford House here in Hutchinson. Oxford House is a sober living environment. It's for the addict that wants to stay sober and remain sober. So you have to be an addict. You struggle with addiction. All you have to do is you have to call them and set up an interview, and you go in and you answer questions. And they're very accepting. They understand addiction because they are addicts. I got kicked out of one Oxford House, and I lived with a couple of friends that are Oxford House alumni. Because I'm not from here originally, so I didn't have anywhere to go. And so they were worried that if I was out on the streets here, I was going to get pulled back under, and they didn't want that for me. They were like my guardian angels at the time. And so I lived with them for a month until I got accepted into the Women and Children's House when it opened up. And I lived there for 9 months, and then I got my children back full-time with me. I have a 12-year-old son, and I have a 9-year-old stepdaughter, and then a 5-year-old little girl. And it's the best thing in the world, I struggle with my 12-year-old because he's seen drug busts, he's seen cops knocking down the door, he watched what addiction will do to your family, so I have that guilt there. But, not too long ago, he told me, he says, Mom, I'm the happiest I've ever been, and those moments are just amazing. That's what recovery will bring you. Fight for your life, because that's what addiction is. It's a fight for life or death, and no matter what, don't give up, and if you fall down, stand back up and try again.